You wanted to go up with Miss Doctor. Will's over 21. I can't say I blame her. I really must be slipping. I consider myself an old pro in this department, and I've missed every signal. Meaning what? Oh, it's pretty obvious the guy's getting to you. He's what? You know all you've done for the past 3 hours? Stare out that window, look at your watch, and smoke one cigarette after another.
Of course I have. This whole project is my idea. If something goes wrong, I'm in a lot of trouble.
And I'm not, I suppose?
I'm following orders. If the Army wasn't concerned, I couldn't care less.
Oh, I see. It's the Army, is it?
You're being ridiculous, Liz. Corporal Hodges is the one kind of man I couldn't possibly be interested in. Why, he's so obvious I can tell you every move he's going to make before he even makes it.
Well, you tell me the next move. I want to be there when he makes it.
And lots of luck.
Oh, come off it. Lieutenant admitted. The guy bugs you.
As far as I'm concerned, a bug is something you find crawling in your bed.
That's lovely stuff. Thank you, Janet. And Elaine. I suppose she's left. Yeah. Anyway, the next gentleman, he started as a paparazzo. I call them paparazzi. I don't know. It doesn't matter. He's one of the best. Stars would run towards his camera. His love of travel and celebrities caused him to create a very successful TV series. And now, when you talk about the lifestyles of the rich and famous, you could be talking about the creator himself.
Of Mr. Sinatra, 25 years after the incident in the house. She was sitting having dinner at the 21 Club one night, and Sinatra was sitting at the table across from them. And although Elaine was warned not to go over to Mr. Sinatra, you can imagine that Elaine does obey instructions like that. And she went over and said, "Mr. Sinatra, I'm Elaine Stritch," and he said, "You're the broad who I told wasn't going anywhere, and you went everywhere." So maybe there was an apocryphal ending in that story, but it's nice that Elaine won that. I got to tell you that it is very difficult to spend a long period of time writing a speech for this tribute to Janet Leigh, and then find that Rex and Jamie and everybody has stolen all the words that I had written. So it's very difficult to know what to say. Don't worry, I will find something to say. Before I get to the subject of Princess Diana this evening, I would like to talk about the meal that we were served. This is the first time I have been at the Players Club. It is also the first time that I have been to an event this year where meat has been served instead of boneless breast of chicken. I have probably eaten more boneless breast of chicken this year than Janet Leigh has had hot dinners in Idaho. And because I am a curious person, I decided to find out who was responsible for boneless chicken. And I turned my crack research staff loose on this, and we found that there was a farmer just outside of Baltimore, Maryland, who raised boneless chickens. And I called Janet Leigh and asked her if it was all right for me to go down to Baltimore and interview. I have to work her into the routine. I don't know what else to say. But I went to Baltimore with Janet Leigh's permission to interview the man who raised all the boneless chicken, figuring that it would be a great story for the TV show. And I went there, and indeed, this farmer has millions and millions of boneless chicken flopping around. It's really pathetic, actually, when you think about it. Because they can't stand up and they can't lie down. But what a joy that when Janet put this dinner together, she insisted that they would not be sacrificed for her tonight. You know, a lot of people think that what Janet Leigh does, what I do, is totally illogical. They are right. I mean, entertaining people with funny performances on screen and funny performances on television, it's totally illogical when you think about it. I mean, none of it makes any sense. But then, you know, if you've been drinking tonight, let me just share this one thought with you. If Janet Leigh and Robin Leach lived in a logical world, wouldn't men ride side saddle? It is with a great deal of joy that I tell you that I wasn't even born, yet alone thought of, when Janet Leigh started work in the movie industry. No. It's a setup, which you just destroyed, and therefore you will all suffer that I will not continue with the punchline. I came here tonight because I buy books, and I enjoy reading books. And it pissed me off when I bought 2 books that I couldn't get an autograph. So when I was invited here tonight, I went to my library and I brought the 2 books with me. And I hope that I can get your autograph, Janet, on the 2 books before I leave here this evening. So Janet, I would ask that you take the pen and sign my 2 books while I finish this absolutely sincere tribute to you. I gotta tell you something, because, do you have a pen? It's a good job I brought the pen. Janet and I spent some wonderful time together doing the episodes for Lifestyles, and she truly is a remarkable lady. And if you remember, when I started this piece of insanity, I said that I was going to talk about Princess Diana. And some of you wondered why I would talk about Princess Diana. The first reason is because I'm English. But I put, in this modern day world that we live in, I put Janet Leigh into my Yahoo search machine on the internet. And it's really interesting what I came up with. And I don't know whether, Janet, you've ever entered your name into the computer. But I will tell you that 53 pages of material will spit out. There it all is.
Are you serious?
No, I'm serious. And the last part of it is an analysis of the famous people born under the sign of Cancer. And you were born under the sign of Cancer. And your lucky numbers are 3 and 7. But it's really interesting when you look at some of the people who were born under the same sign, let alone the same day as you. And I'm just going to mention a couple of names. James Cagney, who was honoured here at the Players Club, which was the last time I was in this wonderful building. Princess Diana. So if you do word association, you think of James Cagney's strength, you think of Princess Diana, incredible radiance and beauty. Gina Lollobrigida was born on the same day as you. Mike Tyson and Sylvester Stallone, curiously. Which shows that you have a better sense of humour than I do, but it shows strength and tenacity. The Duke of Windsor. Now there is a dichotomy. Harrison Ford, Susan Hayward, Ernest Hemingway, Lena Horne, Rose Kennedy. Some incredible people that were born under the same sign as Janet Leigh. And the description of her sun sign is considered the absolute ultimate outline of her personality. And you could not put all of this crowd together without coming to the conclusion that Janet Leigh shines above them all. Now, she may have been menaced by Mexicans, and she may have been fighting against communist brainwashers. She's run from killer rabbits, and she's best remembered for taking a shower. But 35 years of Psycho tells us that Janet Leigh is still the only person that you would never ever want to jump in the bathtub with. Except in real life. So every time that you turn on the hot and the cold, just remember, there was a lady that you'd love to be with. God bless. Have a great night. Congratulations. And could I have my books, please? Thank you very much. For those of you who didn't take the free paperback that was on your table, you will not be able to persuade me for love or money to sell these. Janet, thank you so much indeed.